All right, questions for Coach Swan.
Good. All right. See you guys.
I'm paraphrasing here, but Morgan was talking about how he's maybe not, I guess, looking over your shoulder, and you have, the freedom to put your own spin on the defense. Well, it's still going to be kind of scale of Utah defense. What are kind of the spins that you've put on it so far?
Well, without getting into exact details, each coordinator has our own ways of doing things and liking things. There's different coverages and run fits that we apply and the way that we like things. So without, like I said, giving you too much in detail, we all, we're doing some pretty cool stuff. And I think our guys are really buying into what we got going. This defense has been in place for a long time here at the University of Utah and has been very good. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind as a coordinator is if it's working and it is providing very good production and it's not broken, then don't try to fix something that's not broken. So as a coordinator, you got to be smart with that, but at the same time, you want to have your own spin on things and really looking for ways to improve things where things maybe broke down in the past.
You've got a lot of talent on the defensive side, but there's a lot of competitions in many position groups. As a defensive coordinator, how are you balancing trying to get guys there as fast as you can so that you can get those set versus just trying to make sure that you do it right and trying to get the right guys in the right spot?
Yeah, you got to be creative as a coordinator for sure because you can have a plethora of guys in different positions that can all play, and getting your best 11 out there is definitely something that you're always constantly thinking of because it is all about the players. It's all about them over scheme. And so you got to be creative, find different ways to utilize that and to constantly be massaging your personnel. But I do know this so far in camp through 2 practices, it's been extremely competitive with those that you're mentioning and how talented we are on the defensive side, which is a good thing. It makes it harder on us as coaches figuring out which ones are going to play, but we definitely got a good problem going on.
Ask you something not related to football. You talked a little bit about just cattle wrestling. I think it's cattle wrestling.
Steer wrestling or bulldogging. Yeah.
You've lost a couple of teeth doing that.
Yeah.
Walk me through the background of how you got into that, and how often are you going back to Idaho to do some steer wrestling?
Let's see. I went back 4 times, but actually the 4 times that I went back this summer in the month of July, I took my kids. All right, so I can show you a pretty cool picture. Let me show you my daughter here. I'll show you my daughter on this picture right here. And this is what we do as kind of our entertainment in Idaho. Okay, this is her. Okay, on riding a sheep. Right, she's 5 years old and she gets what we call scorpion. Right, so she's getting bent over backwards right there, and that's me in the background, kind of yelling at her or encouraging her, right, as you will. So that's kind of how I got into it, doing stuff like that. Just kind of grew up in that world. We were large cattle ranchers in Idaho, and my grandpa actually, who was a quarterback here at the University of Utah, he was an All-American, and he played here right before World War II. Okay, and he was drafted by the Chicago Bears. His name's actually out in the trophy room, believe it or not. Not a lot of people knew that about me and the University of Utah, but he played here, and my uncle played here as well. But Grandpa was drafted by the Bears and went on to get drafted by the Navy and served in World War II. So he graduated from University of Utah with a law degree, and he came back from war, and my grandma thought that they were going to live the good life, the country club life, being lawyers and all that good stuff, and Grandpa bought a ranch. And so they went on to be ranchers and moved to Idaho, and it's all been cowboying and football ever since. So, yeah, my dad played at Utah State, like I said, my grandpa, and my uncle played here at University of Utah. My brother played at Utah State. My other brother played at Boise State. And so it's football and cowboying. And we just grew up that way. And it's kind of a way of life. You don't ever move away from it. It's awesome. I actually think it teaches you a lot about toughness and endurance and just the, the way that life really is, the hard way, and not cowering down to stuff that adversity that can become difficult. So
Thank you.
that's a long answer.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. I'm sorry to ask that.
No, that's my passion right there, man.
Coach, Cyrus Bowler's received a lot of praise for different things. Just what does he have to do to continue to earn your trust and potentially carve out a role this season?
Man, there's not much there because he's got a lot of trust from me. But he is continuing to prove to not only myself but his teammates and Coach Scally and the rest of the coaching staff that he's very productive. He's an extremely good player. He's got a great attitude, and he's had a really good spring. And now moving into fall camp, he's just kind of taken off from there even more. So really excited about him. He's in a nice little battle with other really good linebackers, and to refer back to the question earlier, finding ways to be creative as a coordinator and finding these ways to get these good players on the field. So excited about him.
How do you feel like Troy Reynolds has improved from the end of last season going into this year?
Man, Trey Reynolds is a rock. He's been a rock ever since he's been here. He is steady. He is a guy that does everything right. He's extremely productive. When he was on the field last year and years in past, he's been, whether it's special teams or defense, he's been a very, very productive player. And there is not a guy on the team that will outwork Trey Reynolds. He is exactly who you want when you're recruiting guys, ones that do not shy away from that hard work. And he's had a great fall camp. He's taken over as a leader in the room. He's very compelling, meaning bringing a lot of the players not only in the linebacker room but defensively along with him. And he's awesome. So excited for him and what we're gonna do with him.
One more from Sandy.
Yesterday, Jono said that it makes his job a million times easier if the defensive tackles in front of him are, eating one or two blocks. Just how have you seen the defensive tackle room grow from the end of spring to now?
It's so far it's been great. I mean, in practice, you see exactly what we want out of that group, and that was them and the DBs. A lot of turnover in there and new guys coming in, so it was a question mark going into spring, and you've seen nothing but growth and development from those guys. And it's continued so far. You can tell that they've had a great summer in the weight room, that they've done a great job in the video room. And it helps us as linebackers if we got a front four in front of us that can allow us to do some cool stuff linebacker wise, but it also helps in the back end with, putting pressure on the quarterback. And so the D tackles are doing a fantastic job and are going to continue.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank